bees are dying, and our survival depends on them. That's why 4RB's created the Pure Wave Cell, a breakthrough quantum device proven to help hives thrive, doubling colonies and boosting honey production naturally. Every jar of our Pure Wave honey fuels this mission, supporting beekeepers worldwide. Visit 4RBs.com. That's the number 4OurBees.com, and use code WITF for 20% off. Save the bees. Save us all!
Where in the Folk is not and should not be viewed as a news source. Any names, places, or likenesses mentioned are purely fictional, and any information discussed is purely speculative. Guest opinions are their own and do not reflect those of anyone else. Where in the Folk is not responsible for content accuracy of any stories that are told or what people do with these stories. This show is vulgar, sometimes graphic, and due to its content, it should not be viewed by anyone, actually.
Welcome to another episode of Where in the Folk. I hope everybody's had a great, tremendous fucking week, and thank you for joining myself and Tolly. Merry Christmas, Merry whatever else you
Kwanzaa.
Happy holidays. Happy holidays. Go ahead and hit like and subscribe if you're new. If you're new, go ahead and do that now. Help out some rednecks from down south.
Give us a follow.
Yeah. And so thank you all for tuning in and joining myself and Tolly as we talk about some of the news you might not just heard about yet, or if you had, we're going to talk about it anyway. So the first thing we want to go ahead and sit in light of the holiday spirit, go ahead and tell you a little bit about Coca-Cola, if you've ever heard of Coca-Cola.
Yeah,
it ties into Christmas.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize this, but the Christmas hellscape of retail purchasing actually started with Coca-Cola. So this was all the way back almost 100 years ago. It was in 1931. Coke launched a groundbreaking advertising campaign that solidified the modern depiction of Santa Claus and had a long-lasting cultural impact because they were having a big problem. Yeah. Nobody was buying Coke in the winter. It was associated as a summer drink. So to promote their beverage as a winter drink due to sales, they hired illustrator Hadan Sundblom, who reimagined Santa as a cheerful, plump, and grandfatherly figure dressed in a bright red suit trimmed with white fur, a palette that conveniently matched Coca-Cola's branding. This version of Santa, based partly on Clement Clark Moore's A Visit from St. Nicholas's earlier illustrations, this presented a warm, approachable character who exuded joy and curiosity. Sundblom's Santa appeared in Coke's Christmas advertisements for decades, all the way to the day featured prominently in magazines, store displays, billboards, and reaching a global audience. The campaign resonated so deeply with the public, helping to standardize Santa's appearance and linking him with Coca-Cola, creating a fortune in sales. Prior to 1931, Christmas as a holiday was dwarfed in celebration by Easter due to the resurrections. Gifts were super minimal, usually fruits or other treats, maybe necessities. But after seeing Coke's success, the version of Santa shaped holiday advertising strategies, inspiring other companies to use similar imagery to evoke nostalgia and warmth to influence consumer culture and seasonal marketing until it evolved into the ultimate money play. And then insert Black Friday prior. By popularizing a consistent and iconic image of Santa Claus as it's presented today, Coke played a pivotal role in shaping Christmas by reinforcing his role as a symbol of holiday joy. And I was actually just talking to Cecil before. Hey, Jenny.
Hey, Jenny.
I was talking to Cecil before the show. If you think about all your favorite Christmas songs, none of them are about what Christmas is actually about. Like, you know, it used to be like a religious holiday that evolved into a retail holiday but none of the Christmas songs are about like Jesus or, that sort of thing. It's just crazy to think about.
Well, I mean, before Coca-Cola kind of transformed Saint Nick, he was often seen wearing like green and brown, just real nice colors. They gave him a little pop of color to sell them Coca-Colas during the winter time. I mean, really, as a marketing strategy, was perfect on it. I mean, it's lasted over 100 years. That's better than Pat's Pool Hall in Manchester. It's been open since 1949. But I mean, I don't know, like, before it became so commercialized, it really was like what was the holiday exactly? Do you think, like, was it just paganism or?
Well, yeah, I think it originally has pagan roots. That part is contested. Definitely the tree aspect of Christmas is pagan.
Yeah.
But it's like I said before, the big thing was Easter. Like Easter was Christmas.
I hope in 200 years that Art the Clown is the new Santa Claus.
I doubt that will happen.
Well, this is how it's going to happen. There's going to be some kind of reset in about 60, 70 years. And the only thing that'd be left over is a Terrifier 3 DVD. And they'll be like, huh, look at this guy. And then it'll be the new Santa Claus. Kind of like when I talked to the Beyond Secret Texan and we was talking about in 1,000 years, the main religion would be Star Wars.
Yeah, I don't know. It could, if Coke launches an advertising campaign, he could very well take the place of Santa.
Wrestling's getting involved. Him and Rhea Ripley's got a thing going on.
Who?
Art the Clown and Rhea Ripley.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. But anyway, I regress. It is hotter than a marathon runner's crack in this room right now.
Why?
I don't know. I think we need to turn the air conditioner on, but I feel weird turning the air conditioner on in December.
Yeah.
That's weird to me.
Well, we can get into depressing stuff. That might cool you off.
Well, don't forget that there's like 7 monitors in here running and all that stuff. So it's 65 outside, so it's probably 85 in here.
Oh, yeah. I forget how warm it is out. That's probably why you got your heat on.
Yeah. Well, no, it's off. I might die. And I'm drinking hot coffee, which is delicious.
Your house is insulated well.
It is very. If you fart, it warms up 2 degrees.
Global warming. You're part of global warming like the cows.
I guess so. Everybody's doing holiday stuff. I ain't seen Crystal or Landa yet.
Yeah, well, Larry was hanging out with us for a long time when we watched videos last week.
Oh, nice. I had to miss that one.
I was buying
$30 cheesesteaks.
What's up, Larry? Well, speak of the devil.
Well, blue.
17 degrees. Yeah, it's been like 65 degrees here the past couple of days.
That's my type of weather, though. I wish it was 17 degrees. I love it cold. The colder, the better.
No.
Yeah. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into the news after talking trash about Coca-Cola, which is the superior of the soft drinks, but it eats your insides out.
We can eat rust off stuff.
If he eats rust off stuff, he eats the bad stuff off me. You know what I mean?
There you go. That's a good way to think about it. So we talked a little bit about how all computing parts are going up in price, like 400% on RAM. NVIDIA said they're not making video cards anymore. The most popular video card, they're going to limit manufacturing of it. And now this week, it just keeps getting worse. NVIDIA continues to ruin the gaming landscape. So they have a cloud gaming service called GeForce Now.
Yeah.
And they are now implementing a 100-hour per month playtime cap for all paid subscribers starting on January 1st. So this is gonna be all users, and if you're over the 100-hour mark, which that's a lot of gaming. Yeah, it's crazy, like how much RAM's going up. We covered this a couple of weeks ago, but RAMs went up like 400% because of the data centers. But the rub here with NVIDIA is that if you go over the 100-hour mark, you can purchase 15 hours per block at either $299 or $599 if you're on the ultimate tier. Yeah. I know that there's places like China who I think they have a cap on how much they can game, but I'm just like, but it'd be different if it was free, and you were using a free service to play games, and they wanted to cap you at 100. What's up, Landa? But it's different. It's different when you're paying for a service. The ultimate tier is already $20 a month, and now they're going to charge you $6.99 or $5.99 to go over that limit.
Well, Wiki Kinder's right. I mean, the data centers are changing the landscape of everything technology based right now. And in a couple of years, I strongly feel like you're not going to be able to buy a laptop for reasonable. You know what I mean? I feel like it's going to go back to prices when everything was new. Like you can get a decent laptop now for about $500. I'll say in a few years it'd be like 15.
Oh, it's gonna be less than a few years with everything going up. Like RAMs went up 400% in a few months. It's gonna get to the point where a gaming system is gonna be thousands of dollars.
Yeah,
Xbox is already teasing that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just gonna be. I mean, this is another AI hellscape, but, I think the best thing is to just protest these data centers. Like if you know that they're coming into your town, like to start talking to your local, officials about it. Like, cause obviously your senators aren't going to do anything. But your local folks, like your everyday person that you talk to, I've never met anybody that was like, yeah, we totally need these data centers, more of them. I just don't think we're getting the government's probably getting something from all of this that we're not.
Yeah.
I do not feel like ChatGPT is worth sacrificing our water, our electricity. Like our electric bills, like one of the reasons that, they're not offsetting that grid usage. So the electric just continues to go up. And the people who live close to these centers, we've played videos of them before. They literally don't get good water pressure in their homes because of these facilities, if they're big enough.
Well, Mandy and I, we travel a lot on weekends and stuff. We like to get out of town. We've been running into more and more areas where it says like no data centers allowed, like a land for sale, no data centers apply, things like that. People are fighting back. And I really see the good in AI. I do, but man, it's coming at a cost that's not something we're willing to put up with right now. Not something we can deal with, rather. Like,
so Wicked, have you noticed that with those data centers, even with the nuclear power, have you still noticed your bill creeping, or has it stayed pretty stagnant in spite of the data centers? I'd be interested to hear about that.
Yeah. And you're right, $1,000 laptop is a beast now.
Yeah.
Right now it is.
Yeah.
But in a few years it may not be, because everything's going to be more expensive.
Hey, Crystal, we were missing you and Landa a minute ago.
I appreciate y'all being late. No, that's fine. But I mean, something's got to break. It's going to be a hellscape or something. it's either going to be a hellscape or it's going to be Shangri-La. You know what I mean? I don't see it in between at this particular moment.
Yeah, I mean, we're paying for it.
And the thing
one way
about
or
it,
the other.
yeah, and the thing about it is, you know, the person that bought up the most farmland has been screaming about climate change for years. Now that data centers are a big thing, is like, you know, climate change ain't too bad, you know, so it's all right. You know what I mean? Like,
Well,
so
they said that. What do we say that that statistic that came out that above the data centers, it's heating the air like a mile into the air above these data centers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the slow boil.
That's true. Oh my God, wicked Kinder. That's so true. People can't back up a car without a backup cam. Oh yeah, I see that firsthand a lot of times, and I know one person that has trouble backing up with a backup cam. That's neither here nor there. But yeah, I mean, when it comes to a situation where you're not going to be able to dial something on your phone, and all you're going to be able to do is be like, "Hey, phone, call blah blah." Hey phone, I want to watch a funny movie about a duck and a dog going on. It just creates it for you. I mean, it's cool in retrospect, but
once you're hooked, you know, it's not going to be now, but once you're hooked and you're dependent on this stuff, that's when they're really going to start goosing the price on it. And it'll be to a point to where you're at a disadvantage if you don't have the newest Chat GPT. Like it can't do something that you need it to do that everybody else has.
We hope you get better, Landa. Feel better.
Yeah, I hope you. I'm sorry you're feeling bad, Landa. But the other sort of AI story that we have this week, X. So their Grok family of AI models. The U.S. Department of War this week announced an agreement with XAI to integrate Grok models into GenAI.mil, which is the Department of War's secure internal AI platform. The partnership will provide approximately 3 million military and civilian personnel with advanced AI tools for tasking range for tasks ranging from administrative workflows to sensitive operational support, with initial deployment plan for 2026. And these are basically military contracts. They include awards up to $200 million each to XAI and other leading AI firms for developing frontier capabilities in national security applications. It feels like, what is it, Minority Report?
Well, I mean, that just costs quite a few jobs too, because they're talking about optimization, which is somebody else's job, like to set up scheduling proper and things like that.
Yeah.
That
well, yeah, I wish you were here last week, Kinder. We speculate that, and there was evidence for that, perhaps they're putting a data center under that ballroom that they're building.
Yeah.
They're ordering stuff that doesn't really make sense unless you have an underground structure like below it, and
like cooling towers.
Yeah, well, yeah, I don't know. You'd have to go back and watch last week's. I think it was the video watching the watch party on Saturday. We watched a video about it, and they laid it all out. Because we were talking to Larry about it.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's more and more integration with our government. But also earlier in the year, we covered scenarios where AI. Well, what was it? AI powered F-15s that were marking civilian targets because, like, it would override collateral damage scenarios if it thought that it was the best win scenario. So just kill a bunch of people as long as you're killing the enemy too.
Well, they're working on those calibrations, you know.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Like, anytime that they've tried to like do mock-ups for how AI would handle any kind of like crisis or scenario, collateral damage is not a big thing in AIs.
Kinder, I really feel for that. Like, I can't imagine being in the education system and seeing like I'm sure it has to feel like some sort of brain rot scenario where It's like each class is just devolving into 6, 7 or whatever. Like,
And technology is a great thing. It really is. Look at what it allows us to do every week. We can communicate with Morgana and Stephen, who are states hundreds of miles away from us anytime we want in an instant, and see them face to face, and we can talk about these wild things. But there is a dumbification that comes along with this, to where you no longer have to remember things. You no longer have to be like truly creative or have the skill to create what you want.
Yeah.
It's terrifying. I've used myself as an example. I'm no better than anybody. I used to draw a lot. And since I've found ChatGPT, I just say, hey, ChatGPT, go ahead and make Tully look like he's in 1865 hugging Abraham Lincoln. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know, dude. Like, well, just like Rachel was saying on Facebook for Christmas, now everybody's just posting AI slop pictures instead of like their family pictures. Or
we did that. I did that too. I'm no better.
But that's crazy. Like, think about that. Like, people used to post like a family picture, like Merry Christmas, and now everybody's just asking ChatGPT to make a picture that says Merry Christmas or whatever.
Like I said, I'm no better.
That's crazy. That's wild. I'll have to find a story about that or something, Kinder. For those listening on audio only, Kinder said they're installing AI agents into classrooms to observe the teacher's lesson and the students' reactions to give feedback to the teachers. And that's crazy. That's crazy. We did touch a little bit on the self-harm stuff, and the ability that it's going to have to call the police. For whatever reason, next month too, I think it is. And you have to fact check me on the day, but there's some date next month where ChatGPT is going to allow adult conversations now.
Yeah.
So you can,
you just got to prove you're like how old you are or whatever, kind of like with
the
hubs. Yeah.
Well, do you think it's a play to get driver's licenses, like further facial recognition stuff, or
the thing about that is it doesn't make sense because they've already got all that. All that's already in a government database. I don't know what the play is. I really don't understand, except besides trying to figure out people's kinks.
We like to watch. I'm not going there, but we like to watch.
I know what you all like to watch. Rachel was blabbing about. Not
we were watching police chase videos.
Yeah.
And, because we used to watch Live PD on the weekends and that went away. So now we just pull up police chase, like body cam videos. It's been FOIA'd on YouTube. And for the first time, so there was kids that stole a car, and the police lost these kids. The oldest one of them was like 15.
I told my wife the same thing.
Well, it depends on if they get bodies, like in what was that movie called that came out this year?
Well, there was AI. There's been surrogacy. Well, AI is the one.
It was the surrogate one where it was like Companion. Oh, yeah. That movie Companion, where there's just AI girlfriends in a Westworld body.
But
that's going to be the downfall of humanity. Like, if they make, which you never know, maybe they'll make them with like an incubator and stuff built in to where they can have babies and stuff.
You never know. I had the picture pulled up. I'll show you our Christmas picture before the end of the show here.
I lost my track of thought.
He was talking some kind of silliness.
Yeah, probably was.
But my wife, she's really into stuff.
I remember, before I lose it again, the kids that stole the car, the police lost them, and how they found them was through flock cameras.
Wow.
Tracked them to a parking lot and got into a altercation. But yeah, the flock cameras are going to be a huge problem too. Like, you're not going to be stopped for speeding tickets anymore. You're just going to have them mailed to your house.
Yeah.
That's already happening.
Right, here's the Christmas card that we made. It's realistic. Like you would see us being in that situation, but that's the one that Mandy sent out to everybody. And it's AI. It's AI.
AI slop.
Yep, AI slop. Cool card though. I don't know, man.
Blame the 2 degree increase above. If there were any spikes in temperature, that was Cecil's generating the stupid fucking pictures on ChatGPT.
How it works. That's how I operate. But yeah,
that's not so different from Flock, Kinder. Like that's basically the same thing. There's not going to be any privacy anymore. You're not going to even be able to speed. And so this happened recently where they mailed somebody one of those speeding tickets. You know how you take road trips? So imagine you're in New York and they mail you your speeding ticket to your house in Kentucky, and they say if you want to contest this, you have to show back up for court in New York, or pay the $200.
Oh, I'll be in New York. I'm like, I came back for this.
That's how they get you. Oh shoot, that reminds me, we covered maybe we didn't cover that story where the AI thought the kid a couple weeks ago had a gun, and it ended up being a clarinet. They called in the SWAT team based on this AI feedback. If you Google that, like AI clarinet false alarm, that story will come up. That was crazy.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's weird that we're going into what we're going into, and it's happening so fast, like just so ridiculously fast. It's I feel like the AI boom is the fastest growing technological thing in history. It has to be, right?
It's fast. I mean, this is way different than the Industrial Revolution because people still needed to operate the machines. You know, granted, it did eliminate jobs because you didn't need as many sewers or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But it wasn't to the point where, you know, the people still had to operate the machines. In this case, they could have androids that fix the robots. There's doesn't have to be humans unless there's a problem.
I don't think it's
like a mental problem.
I feel like we're at least a decade away from it being able to fix itself. But I mean, that's coming.
Yeah, it's a slow roll. It just feels like I don't know, 25 years of pulling the rubber band back and then 5 years of the snap. Like it's just kind of all snapped into place. Technically, like BlackRock, we talk about the big ones. BlackRock has had artificial intelligence since like the 80s.
It's always been around, but in the state that is now, man, it's just so fast.
There's old X-Files episodes. There's an X-Files episode specifically about like AI not listening to people.
Yeah. Oh man. I had to do CB radio. I'm 40. I remember CB radios. My dad used to go on there and try to rein up some women's when he dropped up.
Well, yeah, where we grew up was also way behind the times. Yeah. Like we grew up in southeastern Kentucky, and it's probably like 20 years behind the rest of the world.
So much so I didn't have a cell phone until I was 22, and that would have been in when was I 22? 2007.
They'll catch on they'll catch on to the current brain rot in like 5 years.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got. So we talked about the Pentagon, and we couldn't talk about the Pentagon unless we talk about we bombed in Nigeria yesterday. Did you hear about that?
I did not hear about it. No.
We bombed in Nigeria on Christmas because apparently there was Islamic, like ISIS terrorist scum is what they called them. In Nigeria that needed freedom, apparently. But the this is just crazy because the administration's saying that it's based on violence against Christian communities in Nigeria. I guess he previously warned military intervention to address what he described as severe persecution. But if you contrast that, like, China has literal concentration camps that we've known about for years, like the Uyghurs.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like it just seems like the same logic isn't applied across the board that, Christian community, not even Christian. Like it's not being applied across the board for humans.
Well, it's a case of who has the bigger weapons to fight back and who doesn't. You know what I mean?
So that's true.
That's the only thing it could be in my mind, because
if you have nukes, you're allowed to have concentration camps. And Nigeria probably can't send it. You know what I mean?
And I mean, well, yeah, Kinder's right on point again. I mean, it's drone warfare at this point. I mean, there's going to be very little boots on ground anymore for the rest of our lives.
Yeah, Larry, it is weird. It is weird. It's just, it's so random. You got the stuff going on in Venezuela. You've got, which is for all intents and purposes, Venezuela, if stuff continues the way that it's going, that's going to be that'll be way worse than Vietnam. It's a lot bigger of a place. Same sort of landscape, though.
Well, the thing about it is, like Kinder said, I mean, it's going to be drone. There will be boots on the ground, but not in the capacity that's been in the past. You know what I mean? It's going to be seeking out
Jenny
level.
Hey, I got a fact check, Jenny.
We'll level that whole area, like, before we send boots in on ground. Like, you know what I mean? That's kind of the gameplay now. It seems like decimate and obliterate, then let's go in and pick up scraps, which I hope it don't come to, but it seems to be the way that thing.
Well, so this says, Jenny, that on Christmas Eve of this year, police in Shanghai detained several people dressed as Santa Claus for handing out peace apples.
I was wondering where the hell my presents were. That's what happened. Yeah. I'm so mad.
Jenny said that China arrested Santa Claus, and I was like, that sounds crazy, but it's real.
No. She said I didn't do anything because I was bad.
It says that this fits into a broader pattern of localized restrictions on public Christmas activities in China. It says that authorities have removed Santa displays from malls, restricted street celebrations, and warned against any public Christmas events. So, yeah, why didn't they get bombed? You know what I mean? Like, they've got concentration camps and they're taking away Santa Claus. Why aren't they getting bombed?
Imagine. I know. This
Larry,
is a lot.
Larry makes that's a great point, Larry, actually. Yeah. Maybe we were just testing something new.
Yeah. I mean, it's quite possible. And we're always testing something new. That's a fact. We've always got newer and stuff coming out. But imagine a world where everybody just left everybody the fuck alone.
It ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. We've been this way for millennia.
Yeah.
Certain groups that are at war right now, like in the Middle East, they've been at war for thousands of years.
Yeah. And it's even trickling down like this. I'm somebody that's went off on fast food worker before. I ain't gonna lie. I feel bad about
that. That is bad. You should never go off.
No. Well, if I tell you 6 times to give me my fucking hot mustard sauce and you neglect to do it the 6th time, I'm gonna be a little upset. But
yeah, but they're working at McDonald's, dude.
Well, I mean, I've worked in fast food, I understand it.
They obviously don't have, I mean, either they're younger or they don't have great skills,
like I feel bad about it. I do. But the other day we went to Jersey Mike's, and there's this old rich man, and they were just in there working. They were working hard, having a good time, but they were working. And he said, "I don't need your damn commentary. Just make my fucking sandwich." And
What?
I was like, "What the fuck is this prick?" And that, unfortunately, we see that more often than not. It's like people have no shame and no empathy for anybody. Like they were working, but they were talking. You know what I mean? Like, why does everybody have to be miserable if you're fucking miserable?
Yeah.
That's
See, I don't know. I don't have any tolerance for that kind of stuff. I would have probably said something. Like, it's just if today's the day. Just can't handle that, man.
Why don't you get in your fucking Hummer and drive off a cliff there, Jethro? You fucking prick. But but yeah, I was thinking about that. I was like, man,
it's like that Dr. Phil moment where the dude's dressed as Dr. Phil and Dr. Phil comes out.
Yeah.
It's like he thinks he's the one, but you're like just standing back there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. I've been seeing that a lot more recently. Do you think it's just because tensions are raised between like the way the world is now? Like, I see it all the time anymore.
I think everybody's attention span's destroyed. I think everybody's attention span is absolutely went down the shitter in the last 5 years, 10 years max. After COVID, it was over.
Yeah. But my point of that is, if you can see they're working hard, but they're having fun while they work, leave them the fuck alone. But if you go to McDonald's off of I-75 in London, Kentucky, directly off I-75, that place fucking sucks.
You're going to get us
here's another.
You're going to get us put in jail, in virtual jail. If you
I decided to drive by there again not too long ago. I was the only car in the drive-thru. That should tell you something if it's a McDonald's directly off of the interstate, by the way. The only car in the drive-thru at 8 o'clock. I sat at the damn box for 5 minutes. And then I said, "Hey, you guys open?" And I hear, "I'm the one you gave me on here." I was like, "Okay." I gave her my order. I pulled up and paid her, and then I went to the window. Only person in the drive-thru. I got the wrong fucking order. I got a meat chicken and a Coke, and they gave me a 4-piece nugget and no pop. Worst one ever. I've complained on it.
And thanks for joining Cecil's TED Talk.
I hate it so much. I hate that one so much, man. Like, it's the worst restaurant I've ever went to in my life. But anyway. Sorry to derail the show, everybody. I'm just getting mad. I'm tired. Sick and tired. This world sucks. We should sign up to go to Mars and not come back.
It just repeat itself, I think. I got one more real quick we can hit. So, for the first time in history, Jim Beam is pausing production. Which is kind of related to what you're not directly related to what you're saying, but they just announced that the James B. Beam Distilling Company announced that it will pause distillation at its main facility in Claremont, Kentucky for the entirety of 2026, starting January 1. This decision allows time for site enhancement and aligns production with current consumer demand amid a broader slowdown in the bourbon and spirits industry, including rising inventories and declining sales. Distillation will continue at some of its other places, but that's the main one. The move reflects challenges facing American whiskey producers, such as record high barrel inventories, leading to increased taxes and uncertainties from international trade.
And teenage boys all over southeastern Kentucky weep. When's the last time you drank Jim Beam?
Never.
17.
Yeah, maybe when I was like a young man, but still, like,
before I got that refined taste.
Let me see when it was opened. Let me see. Yeah, well, I also think like the Delta and THC markets have cut into profits a lot.
Oh yeah, kids shouldn't be doing any of this, by the way, but they are. Yeah. The last time Jim Beam was the year I was born, Linda.
Stop being mean to Landa. There ain't nobody else here to take up for it or not. So this is the first time since 1795 that they've halted production on Jim Beam.
I mean, it makes sense. They've probably got overstock, and they let that stuff age for years, so they probably got overstock of stuff coming to age too. So yeah, it makes sense. And I don't remember the last time. No, I wasn't even born yet, unless it was after October. But I don't know. Jim Beam was never one of my favorites, and I'm from that's supposed to be a Kentucky thing or whatever. Kinder has a good point too, along with Larry, about the herb situation. These seltzers like lemonades and teas and stuff, they just taste better.
I'm sure being in education, Kinder probably sees this, but a lot of kids, like high schoolers and stuff, are incels these days. Like they don't congregate like that at all.
No. We was talking to somebody whose kid graduated last year, and we was like, "Oh, they're going out to party?" No, they came home and played video games. I was like, "Under graduation night?" Like I went to every graduation party from 2000 to 2010.
You had a 10-year run at it.
But yeah. I don't know. That is wild that they're shutting production, but they're not hurting. They might lose a few $1 million this year.
That's true. It's a multi-billion-dollar company. But party on Arc Raiders, he said. Yeah, they're having Fortnite parties instead of proper parties these days.
That's true. Man, my nephew's 12 now, and to think about the things I was doing when I was 12 years old compared to what he does, I'm like, there's a real big difference. Yeah, I was a heathen already at 12 years old. You know what I mean? Like, you know how I was, I was pretty wild at 12 years old, and it continued until I got a little older. He's real. I'm in my roomish.
I know a lot of them. A lot of them are like that. But
yeah.
All right, well, we've hit time on the global news segment. We will be back in 12 minutes to switch over to strange frequencies. Tonight we're talking about the most bizarre rituals in history. So just crazy stuff like exorcisms or cannibalistic rituals.
Let's see what ChatGPT.
Right. Let's see what. Look for the temperature spikes because Cecil's about to go at it.
But yeah, tune back in here at 8:00. Everybody, go get you something to drink. Get you one of them Jim Beams before it goes out. If you're an adult, I'm sure somebody's got one in their cabinet somewhere. Grab your favorite device and tune back in at 8.
I'll do that, Kinder. All right, we'll be back in a minute. Let me see here. Get this rolling.
That is true.
But wait, there's more! The bees are dying, and our survival depends on them. That's why 4RB's created the Pure Wave Cell, a breakthrough quantum device proven to help hives thrive, doubling colonies and boosting honey production naturally. Every jar of our Pure Wave honey fuels this mission, supporting beekeepers worldwide. Visit 4RBs.com, that's the number 4OurBees.com, and use code WITF for 20% off. Save the bees! Save us all!
You're on mute.
Welcome to Strange Frequencies, everybody. Hope you had a great and thank you for joining us as we go over bizarre rituals from history.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I get my Merriam Bratt shirt on.
I got mine says gangster rapper.
I got art. So tonight we're going to be covering some of the more bizarre rituals that you may or may not have heard of throughout time and history, and expand just a little bit on each section. So I'll let one of you groovy cats kick off, and thank you so much for joining myself, Tully, and Steven as we get into it.
Yeah, thanks for sticking around, Kinder. This is kind of what we do.
Yep.
We get into the weird.
Yep.
Well, I mean, just a lob of softball here. Exorcisms, right? Is probably
Exorcisms, right?
exorcisms, right? Yeah.
That sounds like the setup to a joke.
No, I'm throwing one up for Stephen to just like let it rip.
Yeah, Malachi Martin, he was the one who performed, I think, more exorcisms during his lifetime than anybody else in the Catholic Church. Yeah, he talked about some of the weird ones, some of the exorcisms, that's one of the comments he made that really stuck out with me was that he said with each exorcism, it seems like it took a little bit of him along the way.
I mean, there's a lot of energy that goes into that.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of energy that goes into that. Just like the exorcisms. What was that? Poltergeist? Was that about the exorcism? The movie that came out about the exorcism. I think it was
The Exorcist.
Well, there was the Exorcist, but then there was the exorcism of Emily Rose that allegedly had some real audio from it.
Yeah, that's what it was. The exorcism of Emily Rose. How that actually started out was it was about a little boy to begin with originally, and that was the case file that the movie was I think supposedly based on. That and other cases of exorcisms that have been performed is how they went ahead and came up with the movie. So it was based on real events. So yeah, that's something. Of course, the Bible, it talks about exorcisms. The early on, and there were times, whenever the disciples, they weren't able to cast out the demons. So they kind of got scolded for that.
No,
because they weren't able.
You obviously are a lot more familiar with this kind of stuff than us. Is it? I feel like it's not completely normal for all denominations to perform exorcisms. Is that right?
No, it's not. Honestly, the Catholic Church and most of your Pentecostal denominations, they seem to do a lot more of that than say like the Baptist or Methodist, Lutheran, other denominations that I know of. But yeah, with that right there, it's it's I don't know the Catholics. They've got people dedicated specifically for that. Is my understanding of it. And I mean, it may have changed, but with the Pentecostal denominations, it's I don't know. Sometimes it kind of gets into a little bit of weirdness. Sometimes they'll go to just telling somebody that they've got a demon, whether they do or not. It's of course it. But that's one of those things. But no, I know some people, from the different Baptist churches, that have dealt with some of this stuff. It's and I guarantee you, probably one of the weird ones that I heard, was this week, and I believe it to be a true story. I mean, if you want to hear some strange stuff, Livingston was the guy who went to Africa and preached, and he had a lot of strange events that he had to deal with early on. This would have been over 100 years ago whenever he went into Africa. But yeah, he had a lot of stuff like that, and he's talking about some of these spirits and some of these demons that can manifest. I mean, that stuff's really real. Unfortunately, a lot of people seem to think that all that was done away with, 2,000 years ago, but it hasn't been. I mean, it's a real thing. People can really, truly become demon possessed. So,
I believe that 100%. And a lot of people sum it up to like mental illness and things like this, but there's some people that you've ran that I assume everybody's ran into somebody that has some form of demonic energy about them in their lifetime for sure. You can just kind of feel something's off about that particular person that goes further than a mental illness. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
and I think that's part of the process of testing for exorcisms is you have to like debunk mental illness as a cause.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, I think I mean exorcisms has to be up there on the most kind of craziest rituals.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
and same thing, Yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. It's one of those things, I talk about it often. Everything that we know about nowadays has to come from something that was true. And exorcism is one of those things that's been around since like the earliest recounts of it is between the 30 and 33 CE or whatever BCE is before Christ even, and there's some that even talk about even going further back. I forget. There was a big one in the Gospel of Mark. Stephen, you're much more versed than I am in the Bible.
Yeah. The demoniac of Gadarene.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I believe to be the one you're talking about.
Yeah,
because that was the one they tried to bind him up with. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he was the one they tried to bind him up with chains. And he broke the chains, had superhuman strength. He was always cutting himself, running around naked, the whole deal. Nobody could do anything with him. Whenever the way the story is recorded there in the Gospels is that whenever he encountered Jesus, the demons were the ones that actually spoke. And Jesus told him, said, "Tell me your name." He said, "We're Legion, because we're many." And the demons are actually, according to the gospel, they said, "Have you come here to punish us before the time?" So the conversation ensues with Jesus talking to the demons that are inside this man, and they asked that they could be sent into the pigs, which was about 2,000 pigs is what was recorded. And they ran into the water and they drowned themselves, which to me, that right there would that would say something about pigs being under the control of the demons, because pigs can swim. So
Yeah.
so
I mean,
the pigs were not in control of.
Yeah.
That's such a cold
that
line,
right
though.
there, yeah.
Like, and who said that? Darth Vader. Darth Vader was like, "Have you come to destroy me, Obi-Wan?"
Yeah.
That's very similar.
Yeah.
Well, you know, there are
Yeah.
a lot of things that were seen as exorcisms all the way back in ancient Mesopotamia or whatever, however you want to pronounce it for you city folk up there. But I mean, a lot of that could have been summed up to mental illness, because I mean, even in the 1800s, you know, if somebody had a flu, they like, oh, they got snakes in their skin, you know. I mean, but with the advancement of technology and things like this, and the more that these exorcists have learned and the church has learned, even though, you know, we have our things that we can say about the Vatican, you know, but the Vatican does gain knowledge. So, I mean,
The Vatican's trending tonight, by the way. I don't know what for.
oh, either. But I mean, over 2,000 years, over 2,000 to 4,000 years of this practice, they probably honed in on what could be considered mental illness and what is something different.
It's evolving, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would hope that they're able to discern the difference between somebody who's mentally ill and somebody who's under the influence of some kind of a spirit being.
Speaking of demons, look at this one. Just showed up. She's a heathen right here.
She heard you talking about her.
So you summon me, sir? But But yeah, I mean, out of the crazy rituals, exorcism's way up there for sure, because I mean, there's a lot that goes into it. The paranormal that's associated with it, undefeated. I mean, it's
Well, not even like the inverse of exorcisms, like the Solomon summoning is also crazy. Like
the lesser key of Solomon, you know,
his who was it? It was Crowley's house, the one that's in Ireland, is still that place is burnt down like 6 times since that ritual.
it's within an earshot of Lake Loch Ness or whatever, the Loch Ness over there too.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's that close.
Yeah,
it's close.
Yeah, because they said that Alistair was going down to the loch to summon these things, you know, outside of his. Well, I forget the name of it. It's got a name.
It's like the circle, like it's a summoning circle.
No, the name of the house we've talked about.
Oh, yeah, I don't remember the name.
But yeah, and who was the person that bought it? Jimmy Page.
Yeah, from Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, there's been accounts of him saying that he knows that he awoken something in there.
People like security guards say that they hear lions roaring. But to do that kind of stuff, it's not a short ritual. It's like sometimes it could be months long ritual of like starving and doing like consistent ritual stuff to summon something like that.
No, the type of magic that Alistair was practicing on a constant basis left the floors really sticky, if you know what I mean.
But magic, we should do I don't think we've ever done a proper episode on him.
No, we haven't. And it's because I don't lay much credit to him. Like, yeah, he's the world's most evil man. He was a rich kid who liked to climb mountains and wanted to practice magic. You know what I mean? Like,
we could probably do him and Rasputin in one episode.
I would believe Rasputin. Yeah, I believe Rasputin was a little bit more powerful than Alistair, but yeah, we could most definitely talk about him.
With Rasputin, he had control over the royal family there in Russia. So,
oh yeah,
I mean, he was definitely a powerful figure.
Alistair puts me in mind of like a snobby person that was born into wealth and is like, oh, I'm going to go out here and practice magic and summon the awakened ones. You know what I mean? Like,
he did stop. Like, that's what a lot of people don't know about Aleister Crowley. After a certain point in his life, he just stopped all of it and lived a normal life until he passed away.
Yep. Mr. Crowley. but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, he was definitely popular with some of the bands from UK.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Well, and even Led Zeppelin, they had those sigils. Like Jimmy Page's was Zoso, which is a very common demon that people see popping up all over the world.
Yeah, Zoso, whatever. That was one of the names, one of the dark ones in the Disney series Once Upon a Time. You know, be like the imp. You know.
What else you got, Cecil?
Oh, let's see here. Let's check this list. I don't know what you want to get into. Like, there's all kinds of them. How about flagellant?
Is that where you beat yourself?
Yeah, let's flagellant.
Oh.
Yeah, the same thing.
Oh.
No, I'm joking.
you take the flagrum and you discipline yourself. Asceticism.
Yeah,
That's what that
flagellant.
is. It's yeah.
So this became real popular. I'll just read that baptism is a form of exorcism. It may be. Yeah, that makes sense because it actually, let's go back to that.
I mean, that's a ritual, like baptism in itself.
Because baptism washes away the sins and all the negative and stuff like that. Am I wrong on that, Stephen?
What?
Right. That's what a lot of people believe. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
The baptism is, there are differences of opinions with different churches, as you could imagine.
Oh,
there is. But yeah. Yeah.
I remember at my baptism, I got baptized when I was a young man, like 10 or 11 years old. And I was such a little shit that he held me under extra long. So, to the point where people had to intervene. But he said the word, so I think I'm good. So flagellant movement. Now this happened. This emerged in the 14th century in in Europe during the Black Death. And the Black Death, up to 50% of Europe's population passed away during this time. Back then, of course, there was no understanding of what germs were, and the plague was interpreted as God's punishment. Like, he's came to take us all, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But, history repeats itself so, I mean, we're kind of living in a situation like that now. I feel like I like to call it a reset. But anyway, let's get back to this. The church authority was faltering quite a bit, and because priests were passing away at a record amount too, so fast that it was hard to find a priest to bless anything. So what the belief system was the plague was divine wrath for humanity's sins. Christ suffered, therefore suffering equals purification. Public suffering could appease God, cancel collective guilt, and end the plague. They believed private prayer wasn't enough, so something else had to be done. Now, what this ritual looked like: groups of dozens to thousands of people marched in town to town, wore white robes with red crosses, and twice daily rituals. They stripped to the waist and whipped themselves with leather cords tipped with metal. That sounds like a Saturday night in this household. Blood was essential. Blood had to flow. It meant the ritual worked. They chanted hymns and confessions while collapsing in the streets. The pain.
I get the sentiment. The Bible makes a lot of references to blood, so I'm sure that Jesus spilled his blood, so everybody was like, "We're about to go spill ours in the street." Yep. Like, get this party started.
Oh yeah, for sure. In this whole instance, prayer wasn't. I mean, blood just wasn't enough. It was currency at this time. You know what I mean? Like, that's what they wanted to be. So essentially what happened was, and why it spread so fast, as you can imagine, it was highly emotional spectacle. Like, you see 10 people walking down the street who's still alive, when half of the population's dead and they're beating themselves and confessing their sins. You're like, oh, this might work. You know what I'm saying? You know, like,
Yeah.
on board. I mean, I would.
It wouldn't take a lot to get back to that, by the way. Like,
No.
all it would take is something that was uncurable, or I don't know, like when we get our AI Terminators, if they don't shoot somebody that's beating themselves in the street, maybe that'll be the next.
It very well could be. I mean, it's hysteria. You know, hysteria through recognition or whatever. But it offered control and chaos, so you could control what was happening to you in a situation where you didn't have any other choice. And the community thought shared suffering was definitely helping. And visible explanation for invisible deaths. Some towns welcomed them as holy saviors during this time. There's like, here they come, thank God.
All right, but another thing to, I guess my mind just goes different places. But see during the plague, the Black Death there, from the fleas is what caused it. They came in on the rats when the ships came in. That's how it got started. There was a group of people who had a higher rate of survival. There were more of them that survived than a lot of other groups during that time, and those were the Jews. Because with the Jews, they have all these rituals and ceremonies where they're constantly washing and cleansing. Remember during COVID, that was the thing that was on TV. Wash your hands. Wash your hands. Wash your hands. So a lot of people.
God. The stupidity back then. You remember that governor that was like, do you want a free cheeseburger? Do you want a free fries? and it's just like, why haven't we ever acted like that for heart disease or cancer or anything that kills a bunch of people?
Right. Yeah. But that was the thing. So a lot of people thought, well, the Jews have brought this in. They brought in this Black Plague, but they were surviving because they were washing their hands and they were washing their clothes and stuff like that, you know. So and there were some other people with different blood types that survived it better than other people as well.
Cleanliness is godliness.
I guess so, man.
Yep. But I mean, it's one of those things like it really does put you in mind of what happened during the whole pandemic.
Yeah.
There's
people
a lot.
Got crazy. People got legitimately crazy during all
Oh,
that.
they did.
The people snorting hand sanitizer and everything else.
I mean, at that point, they were just trying to jump on my bandwagon. You know what I'm saying? I've been doing that for years. But
My dad, I will say this for my dad. My dad was way ahead of the curve. I remember all of my life. My dad is long before hand sanitizers became a thing. My dad always had rubbing alcohol with him. If he did something, you know, he shook a bunch of hands or had to go bathroom, whatever, he couldn't wash his hands, rubbing alcohol. If you did something, me as a kid, hold your hands out. People were rubbing alcohol on my hands. And do that. I mean, that was just something my dad's done my entire life.
Yeah. Besides the, you know, having other diseases, I was in the bracket of people that were getting the sickest during this whole thing. Yeah. Because I'm obese.
That's what we were talking about, brain cell count.
Because I'm so fat to go to get a lift to get me in the house. But when I got COVID, I was fine, and I would solely put that on playing in toilet water when I was a kid, because we used to play in the creek, and you could watch the sewers flow into that creek when people flush their toilet.
So you were way ahead of the curve on your immunity.
Yeah, you always knew where the sewers were flowing out because the grass was always greener. Which, when everybody says the grass is always greener on the other side, I'm like, yeah, it's because it's full of shit. But as far to me, as far as those people, you know, they're beating themselves with the whips and stuff like that right there would be along the same lines of ancient people. You know, it hadn't rained, so we need to sacrifice somebody so the gods will be happy and it'll rain.
Yeah,
it's kind of is what it makes me think of. You know,
well, it's also similar to, like, some cultures don't do it to themselves; they do it to other people, like the throwing acid all over women, like that.
Yeah.
That kind of
Yes.
stuff. That still happens today, by the way.
Yes, it does.
I think it happened to a woman in Georgia a month or two ago.
I
Yes.
mean, Kinder's from down there, I think, so they can confirm that.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, it happens a lot more than it gets reported in the Middle East.
Yeah.
let's see.
But this whole thing right here, when it took the real dark turn, like when people started questioning it, is when it really grew extremely out of control, church control. Back then, you did not go too far out of the control of the church at all.
No.
They became they claimed they were moral superior to everybody, and they very often incited violence, especially against Jewish communities.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So the church ended up condemning them as heretics and eventually suppressed them by force.
Yeah, it also happened to some other groups like the Waldenese, the Paulicians. There were other groups that they practiced the same thing on them as they did the Jews.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but that's that whole ritual, and that's a pretty wild one. That's pretty wild.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, and that's one that I could fully see happening in our lifetime, or some version of it at least. People might not be whipping themselves with leather straps and metal endings unless they're into that. But
so I got one.
Yeah, if I ever do anything real bad, so you can go ahead and beat yourself, and I'll just look at you and realize I need to do better.
Buddy, I beat myself up every day.
So I'd forgotten about this one. I'm gonna butcher this name. It's Sokushinbutsu, or the art of self-mummification.
Oh yeah.
And this was a Buddhist practice in northern Japan where monks would undertake a 3,000-day process to mummify themselves alive, seeking enlightenment to become living Buddhas. They starved themselves on a diet of nuts and seeds, eliminated body fat, and drank a toxic lacquer tea to repel maggots, and were finally sealed in a pine box underground with a bell and air tube, ringing the bell daily until death. And about 20 to 30 of these mummies still exist today.
There was a guy in America that did this, and I can't remember his name. I'm trying to see if the old Google has it. But they found him in a cave. Well, I read about this about 10 years ago, man. So it's probably going to be hard to find. But anyway, he basically did that, and they said that they could still detect signs of life in him, even though he was mummified.
Yeah.
So they determined that he had hit self-enlightenment.
That's some of those mummies in Japan are the same way, where they can still like catch frequencies and stuff off the bodies. It's some woo-woo stuff.
Really?
So I just fact checked myself. This was December the 10th in Savannah, Georgia. A 46-year-old woman, Ashley Wazlewski, was done in with an acid attack. Somebody approached her from behind and poured it all over her body. About 50% of her body was burned. She was transferred to a burn center in Augusta, Georgia for treatment. The FBI is still involved, offering a $5,000 reward for information leading to the suspect's arrest because it was completely unprovoked. She was on a run, I think.
That's so wild, man, that we live in a situation where you have to have your head on a swivel constantly.
Yeah. It was a completely random assault, but I think sometimes some people have extreme religious views, and if your extreme religious view is that like women shouldn't be outside without coverage.
I mean, I'm truly thankful to be the paranoid person I've always been, because I've always been the type of person, if I even feel like somebody's behind me, I get my back against the wall to see what's
I
going
don't
on.
know. I think if you have an extreme religious view like that, maybe you should live somewhere that shares that extreme religious view. I don't know. Like that's a radical thought, but I'm just like,
Yeah, that's
don't attack random people over one of your personal belief systems. That's crazy.
right. That's. I agree with you 100%. I cannot. For that me, I can't understand why somebody would think that they're doing something good whenever they do that to a person, because you scar them for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just
To me, that's not any different than any other type of hate. Like it's just hateful.
And it ain't even about religious things anymore. And like just random people do random acts of violence. Sure, religion plays into some of them, but not always. It's mental illness.
Some of it could definitely be prevented. Like those people that were arrested 45 times or whatever, like it's just nuts. I know I'm derailing the conversation a little bit, but
yeah. I got Barry's comment there. He's the bearded guy that people want to cross the street.
Yeah, you almost have to be the scary person at this point. Like,
like when I move into a new place, I always make sure that they know I'm walking around my property in my nothing but my underwear in the wintertime, holding an AR-15, just screaming at things in the dark. What are you doing? Who's out there?
So also something else you have going for you is traditionally the two people who've never really been mugged very much in this country are prize fighters and linemen.
Yeah.
I think at this point, if you're a woman, regardless of what your belief systems are, you should really consider getting some form of personal protection, because you may throw acid on me, but it's going to be mutually assured destruction. And like you are also going to feel the pain. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just keep yourself safe. I mean, that's all I can say.
Even if it's something like, if she'd had pepper spray, maybe that would have been enough to the cops to catch up to him or something.
But in the instance that you get splashed with acid, I doubt your mind goes straight to that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it doesn't. It's not like a instantaneous thing. It's not like in the movies where your skin just starts melting off. It would start burning, but you'd have enough reaction time probably to do something.
Yeah.
If you had something.
Yeah.
That's it seems like the farther we go in this country, the more it is that it's going to have to be mutually assured destruction. I mean, if you ever watched any of the National Geographic stuff, when in Africa, whenever everything gets really, really dry and there's basically just one watering hole, well, you got the crocodiles, the hippos, everything else they're all there, and they'll step on each other and everything else in that watering hole, but nobody fights because they know, the crocodile knows that if he messes with that hippo, his life ain't never going to be the same.
I think that's the only form of peace that we're ever going to have at this point. Like true peace can't exist because we've been at war with each other as humans for thousands of years, forever.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest form of peace that's ever existed is just we are equals.
Compromise.
And if you attack me, I will attack you back, and we're both gonna feel it.
Oh yeah.
I think that's the most peaceful way that you can have, is just like, and you should be friendly, but also there should be a thought in the back of your head is like, if I try to hurt this person's gonna kill me.
Yeah.
Like, and that's how you have peace. I don't know. Like in my opinion, that's been the most peaceful times in history.
I'll tell you what, when I was a kid, And like, early teens, if me and my friend group, if one of us had an altercation, like we was like, you motherfucker, things like that, we'd be like in the yard and we go out there and we fight it out. And then when we got done, we're like, all right, you win. I'm down. You know what I mean? Like, you won that argument. That's what it should be. Like, let's just fist fight it out. Let's get it over with.
Go ahead and get out of your system.
Yeah, Larry, I think places, because you can see it. Like if you go to places that are like that where everybody's equally as dangerous, regardless if they're a woman or not, everybody's equally as dangerous. You're not going to have those kind of things happening as much. You're still going to have crazy people, but they're going to be the outlier and not regular statistics.
The biggest thing about it, though, people can't pack ass whoopings anymore, though, with that. Like when I was younger, you could pack ass whooping. You can get your ass whooped, you're like, all right, I lost. It happens.
Yeah.
Winning
and losing is part of life.
Yeah, exactly. And now people, like, well, I'm going to, pull my gun out and I'm going to shoot you for whipping my ass. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, yeah, or they lose. And like you said, they come back 10 minutes later with,
exactly,
guns.
Which I'm a firm believer.
Or knobs, like anything.
I'm a firm believer in having an arsenal. Second Amendment all the way for me. But, I mean, let's take these world leaders and put them in a fucking ring and let them box it out. You know what I mean? Like, if they're mad, box it out. Get it over with.
You're pissed off at the dude in Venezuela. Go fight him. Like, I don't know. Leave us out of it.
At that point, our president will be Joe Rogan or somebody like that.
President Camacho from Idiocracy. I vote Terry Crews.
Oh yeah, we would definitely want somebody. We definitely want somebody who knew how to throw hands.
Well, and we talked about the thing that happened in Bondi a little bit. In Australia, only 6% of their people now have guns.
Yeah.
It's extremely difficult to get a gun,
and they're all bolt action.
So that was shocking to me because this person, I think, had only been in Australia for 3 years. The one that had, because I think his son had citizenship. It was a weird thing. But I was shocked that with only 6% of people having guns, that they would even entertain like foreign nationals having a gun at all. I don't know. When you're in a country like that.
Well, I mean, people hunt, and especially in Australia. I mean, depending on where you live, you have to hunt.
You think only 6% of people in Australia hunt?
I say those 6% do a lot of damage. They got a lot of creatures over there that's dangerous that are.
I'm just thinking maybe even hunters can't get guns as much as they want to.
Yeah,
I'm sure
those 6. Yeah. I mean, good night. I mean, you want something to defend yourself from those 6 foot tall ninja rats,
or the spiders,
or those. They got some extremely deadly snakes in Australia. Oof.
Yeah. I mean, Australia is a hellscape. But anyway, back to rituals. We derailed there. Well, we get passionate about things, folks. Sorry about that.
So in India, there used to be a practice of widow burning.
Yeah.
What was it called?
Yeah.
It says in some Hindu communities, widows would voluntarily or under pressure get burned at the stake on their husband's funeral pyre to prove devotion and join him in the afterlife.
Yeah, this is called sati, or sati, S-A-T-I.
Saute.
But yeah, I mean, that's a pretty wild one. I think I'm gonna bring up the Mandy and see if she's down with that.
It was banned whenever it became under Well, I guess it would have been Hindustan and not India, but why don't we learn about that? Like it always, they talk about India like it's been around forever.
Well, it's the Indian Trading Company, and the company was a more thing than the Hindustan. It was, it wasn't banned as long ago as people would think. It was banned in like 1820s. Like 1829 or something. That's not that long ago in the grand scheme of history.
I don't even think that's unique to India. Like you hear that was a practice also in paganism, like Vikings. That it wasn't just their wife either. It would be like their wife and their like housekeepers would all get sacrificed at the funeral or whatever.
Well, there's been a lot of things like that.
Dogs.
There was I've got one here. It's called the retainer sacrifice. What it was, servants and concubines and soldiers were buried with elites, which that goes back to the pyramids. Except there was never anybody buried in the pyramids. But anyway, that's besides the point. But that was. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was saying there were some tribes here in America that also practiced that. Whenever I'm not positive about the widow, but just like all their horses and everything, whatever the chief had, whenever the chief died, you burn it.
Yeah.
So if the chief had a bunch of horses, it was going to be a long day.
Yeah, it was to accompany you into the afterlife.
Yeah.
But the servants, concubines, and soldiers and all that was pretty common in China, like during the Shang and early Zhou dynasties. But it's exactly what it is. Afterlife mirrored earthly hierarchy. Rulers needed staff, guards, and companions beyond death. That would be such a bummer, though, wouldn't it? Like your boss passes away, and they're like, "Hey, we need you to be here at 1:00 on Saturday for the festival." You're like, "What's happening?" They're like, "Oh, you'll see."
Well, I mean, those people probably could have ran. I think the way people were back then, maybe they were bought in. They were drinking the Kool-Aid.
Oh yeah, it's that I wouldn't be surprised with that.
Yeah, but there's some tombs out there that contain dozens of hundreds even of these sacrifice retainers. But I mean, I get it.
I could just see me being the one to say, well, my boss told me he was wanting some ice cream, so I've got to go to Nepal. I'll see you in a few months.
Yeah.
Let me go get some tobacco. He loved tobacco.
I'll holler at y'all when I get back from South America.
Yeah, Linda, you're going to get gaslit. I'd be like, well, you obviously didn't. You obviously didn't care enough if you're not willing to get burnt over his body.
But I mean, that's a thing. I don't know, man. That's a wild one. I'm kind of glad that one cut out, but they replaced it with some stone structure, like stone statues and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, they monopolized it. Now a casket's $8,000, and digging your hole is $2,000, and your stone's $2,000.
Yeah,
or more, depending on what color you want. Because you want a black stone, I think that has to come from India.
Yeah, I want a life-size statue. I want a life-size statue of myself. And Mandy's got to make it happen somehow, because I know I'm going before she does.
Yeah, listen, I've seen way crazier monuments than that.
I actually want it to be a 7-foot tall statue, so everybody thinks I was bigger than I actually am.
I actually, I snapped a picture of one of the creepiest sayings on a tombstone I've ever seen. Last time we went to Spring Grove, there's a memorial that says, "There's a voice from the tomb sweeter than any song."
Yeah.
And I'm like, what does that even mean? like literal voices, or what are we talking about here?
But yeah, I feel you, Kinder. When my dad passed, I think we ended up paying 19,000, something along those lines.
Would you rather pay $12K or have somebody burn at the stake on his funeral pyre? Like I know that's morbid, but
which one's cheaper?
Yeah.
probably burning somebody at the stake.
Yeah, that would be. I mean, you can go buy 2 or 3 ricks of firewood for a lot less than 12,000. But yeah, Kendra, my mom's funeral was over 10. So
yeah, you can't get a funeral under 10 anymore. I mean, maybe if you cremate and don't have any service, but that's still pretty high for what it is.
It's because of private equity. Private equity has quietly bought up tons and tons of funeral homes, but they're leaving the names the same so that they can have, you're not going to find a funeral home that's much cheaper than another one. They're doing the same thing with HVAC currently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Bake and shake. Yeah, that's hilarious.
Bake and shake.
I think I'm going to steal that. Actually,
I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this right here, though. If you're looking for a cheaper alternative, you don't have to buy from these stupid funeral places. You can most certainly go to Walmart.com and get yourself a pretty decent casket for under $3,000 here. You can even get a pine box for $8.95.
See, now that's the play.
That's the way right there.
Why are these on Walmart?
I mean, because you can buy anything from Walmart.com.
Look at that nice urn for
$75.99.
$37. You can put the picture on there.
Now this one right here is only 60 inches. That's a lit one. But these are full size. Now I'd have to have my knees broke off or something and fold it up. They'd have to fold us up totally, but I mean, still look at the price.
Well, I'm not going to care.
They're only 60 inches long.
Cut the legs off and throw them in there with me. You know.
Yeah.
Crystal made a good point. You could probably find these on Amazon and get the prime delivery.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did y'all see? Did I send you the video of the guys? It was showing the funeral, and one of the men there attending the funeral. When the service was over, he took his cane out and he just started beating the top of the coffin, the casket. So put him in the ground. Put him in the ground.
That's because they thought they was going to reuse the casket.
That's what Larry just said. There's a trend of people hammering the caskets because they think they're digging them back up and reusing them.
I don't doubt it.
I mean, when's the last time you saw a new graveyard getting started? I know that's a big conspiracy right now, but
you guys haven't even touched on this yet. 5 stars and it comes within 3 days.
Wow.
How much is it? So how much is that in comparison to? I bet the funeral home would charge you for bringing your own casket. It's kind of like, if you, I don't know, like
metal ones are $2,500. So I mean, they're comparable. That's bull though, because when my dad passed away, we paid $7, I think.
They're marked up like cars.
Yeah.
And little known fact, you can negotiate with them just like cars.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't be able to because I wouldn't be alive, but
Well, nobody ever does. But I'm saying if you were to if let's say you walk into the funeral home and you're like, oh yeah, I just can't afford that. It's just way out of my budget or whatever. They'll be like, well, we could knock this many off. They will do that. Like it's literally like car sales.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah. See the other thing down here, you get far enough south, it's real common not only to have the casket, but to also have a vault to put the casket in.
Yes, which is a huge racket.
Yeah. That's a weird ritual though in itself, caskets.
So I heard so maybe the thing that makes the most sense about the vaults, it's completely crazy to think that they're going to be waterproof. They're never waterproof. Anytime I've ever seen one opened, the casket's full of water.
Mhm.
But here's why they might be a good idea. Maybe. If you never know what's going to happen in the future, if you're buried in a cemetery, if they ever decide to relocate the cemetery, they will not be able to find you if you don't have a vault hundreds of years from now. Like you're, and with cemeteries that they've relocated, like for the airport and stuff, they only could find what they could find. So who knows how many people they left under the airport that, you know, because there's mass graves that we saw when we were doing the folk and weird stuff with just tons of names. And it's just like these people relocated to make way for the Cincinnati airport.
Yep.
And if you didn't have a vault and you had been there for 100, 200 years, you're getting buried under the airport.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that, Kinder. I don't like trees that much, though.
You know, if you're buried somewhere where, like on the side of a mountain where they're never going to build something, I don't think you need it. I think the vault is a waste of money. That's the only argument I've ever heard that makes sense, is so that your remains could actually be there in a couple hundred years if they decide to relocate the cemetery.
I'll be honest. In a couple hundred years, I'm not going to give a shit.
Well, yeah, you might, if reincarnation's real, you might die 2 or 3 more times between now and then.
And I mean, even if,
you know, like if reincarnation's real, there's probably like 10 of you out there somewhere buried right now.
I mean, even if you go with the biblical stance, you know, we all sleep until rapture day, then we'll just bust through whatever it is anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bust out of the airport.
Hell yeah.
Like wake up in CVG.
Yeah.
Yeah. Couldn't you just imagine the pilot's face whenever you go straight through the cabin?
Yeah, exactly. But I mean,
do I even want to know what that is, Crystal?
That's where somebody dies and find them in time.
I assume it's what it exactly sounds like.
I think that's called murder. Like whatever they dissolve people in the big vats of acid or whatever.
I like the McDonald's route. Just grind me up and put me some chicken nugs. That's
probably happening anyway, dude. The air burials, you know, it is Tibet.
Yes.
But
yes, it is, Kinder.
It was a really common practice to make stuff out of the bones after that process, the air burials. And
are you talking Manine or whatever?
The what?
No, the Manine's different. Never mind.
No, the air burials is just where they literally, if you look at them aerially, they just circle corpses. And once they decompose and only the bones are left, usually they'll make like Buddhist related stuff, like prayer necklaces out of the bones. And my wife's dad was Buddhist, and he had a lot of prayer bowls made out of skull caps from Tibet. I mean, it's cool. It's super morbid, but that's what they wanted that. Like they believed in that. That's crazy, Crystal.
I mean, what the birds picking you clean, that seems to be the most natural way.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when we were first developing, there wasn't this let's bury our dead situation. It was, you know, you go off like an animal, you go off into you by yourself, sit against a tree, and you go on to another.
If we ever do a show and tell, Crystal, I'll dig one of those out and show it. So the inside of the prayer bowl is like painted with like Buddhist imagery and stuff.
Yeah. Tully's got a room in his house that's truly terrifying. So, we'll move on.
It's just normal. Like we've got a lot of her, you know, that we got a lot of oddities in the house is all.
Rachel's dad was a collector. Let's say that.
That right there was another practice from ancient times. As they would place somebody in a tomb whenever they would completely decompose, and a few years later, they go in, gather up the bones, put them in a box, put them in the cemetery, put them in the ashes.
Or how about all those churches that are just bones stacked up and skulls stacked up? That, especially in Portugal and where do they have the catacombs? France.
But I mean, burial, it goes back 100,000 years probably. I think the earliest signs of it was the prolific. Is that right? The prolific area. They did it mainly because of smell and to keep people from prevent scavengers from getting to it and things like that, and to protect living spaces, I'd imagine. But the open air thing seems the most logical to me.
Yeah, Cecil knows about that. What country is that, Cecil? Where they dig the bodies back up?
I think that's Hindu. That's the Manin thing.
I try to stay out the way.
I think it's actually Indonesia. Let me look it up.
Yeah, look it up. Maybe it is Indonesia, where they have the day where they dig up all their dead relatives and parade them around. This is crazy.
You're talking about the interesting thing about the Day of the Dead is that not only is it a thing in Mexico, but it was also a thing in other countries in Europe and the Middle East. So that right there points to there was more knowledge shared than what we've ever been told.
Well, in Indonesia, it is Indonesia. It's a practice called Manin, Manene. And it's rooted to Aluk Dolo, which is the way of the ancestors. It's it's a basic belief system within that culture. Basically, they see it as not being death, not being a sudden thing. It takes time to die, essentially, is what they think. So every year when a person dies, they're considered to makula, which they're basically saying they're sick. They're not dead. Oh, they're just sick. You know what I mean?
Imagine being the first foreign person to you're just there experiencing the culture.
Yeah.
And you're the first person there, and all of a sudden somebody drags a dead body up to you or whatever. You're just you happen to be there on the day.
But they keep the bodies in the house, in their home, for months or years before they actually put them underground. They talk to them, they bring them food, they include them in daily life. They keep them around. Hey, grandma, you want some soup? You know what I mean? But what it actually is let's see. I've actually got a little note here about it. It occurs every few years, and it's usually during the dry season that the families exhume ancestors from tombs. They clean the bodies, they brush their hair, remove mold, repair clothing, and dress them in freshest gear. You know what I'm saying? Put grandma on a FUBU sweater or something. And the bodies are sometimes walk through the village, pose for family photos, and return carefully to the tombs. So that would be such a strange thing. What do you mean?
The FUBU sweater. Grandma's getting some J's.
Yeah, she's getting but getting a new dude. But I mean, it kind of makes sense because they don't think that they're actually completely dead yet. They think that they're sick, they're transitioning. It lines up with Day of the Dead because it's a remembrance thing. You remember your dead so that they continue to live in the afterlife.
I think that's a cool practice, but digging them up is a whole different thing.
Well, they don't. They put them in tombs, so they just walk in and grab them. What are you talking about? When I first seen this, they were posing it as a zombie apocalypse. Because when they walk them through town, it's like they're walking them, like they're walking through town. But no, it's just ancestors.
That's one I just don't think I can get into.
Dude, I think that is like Nigeria.
Yeah, that's in Africa where they pose them in what they do in daily life. Like if they're a soccer player, they have them playing soccer. If they cut hair, they pose them cutting hair.
Have you seen where like it's also normal to like make sure they're dead or whatever, so they like throw water on them and stuff while they're posed like that?
Yeah, yeah.
That is crazy. Like I saw one where the dude was a barber. I think this is the same one you're talking about.
Yeah.
Where he's posed and people, so he's got the clippers, he's posed and deader than a hammer, and people are sitting in the barber chair pretending to get their hair cut while people are like slinging water and stuff in his face to make sure he's actually dead.
Yeah, but you know, even us right now talking about it, we acting like it's something crazy, but you got to think of like in the 1800s, it was commonplace for us to photograph our dead as if we're still alive, you know.
True.
Because that's the only way you could get a good picture of somebody because they didn't move around, so it wasn't blurry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's pretty common.
It wasn't that long ago, you know, sitting up with the dead was a common practice.
Mm-hmm. The house I grew up in, was they set up with the dead with my grandfather in the living room. That was a big thing. They used to do it at people's homes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, death mask. That's something we never have covered.
Mm-mm. I seen
That was
something at the Museum of Death in New Orleans.
Where is there is a big where's the Mutter Museum? That might be closer to Larry.
I think the Murder Museum, if you're talking about the actual murder museum.
The Mutter, Mutter.
I don't know. No.
It's in Philly.
Yeah. I went to the Museum of Death in New Orleans. But yeah, I mean I've got a whole book full of those photographs from the 1800s of post-mortem photography.
Yeah, but some of those photographs, though, I think that was just to prove that somebody was dead. You know, if they were an outlaw or something like that. You know, because some of those, you know, were pretty. You can still see all the bullet holes in the clothes they were wearing.
Yeah, well, that was like in the 20s when that became a thing too, and the Old West, you know. But a lot of people, you know, like if they had a child that passed away, they'd have a picture of them with the child. Things like that. It was pretty common back then. Yeah. I've never told anybody this, but I've got a picture of my dad somewhere when he was in his thing.
Man.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
Yeah. It's wild, but I mean it's a
personal preference.
Yeah, it's a personal preference. I never showed. I'm not putting it online like some people have. Like, look at this,
dude. I think that's so crazy that people post, and it won't even be like the family. It'll be like I was at so and so's funeral and post it on Facebook or whatever.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. It's some kind of ritual thing, and it's like the last. Yeah. But I will say, he looked better on that day than he looked in the last 10 years. But everybody kept saying that he looked so good. I was like, well, I mean, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just a ritualistic thing. And like the sitting up with the dead, that was a common thing with like country folk, and they always did it in their home. Like, and I've got people up the road from me that still do it at their house.
Like, embalming is kind of a crazy ritual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how I feel about embalming. Like I don't think I would want to be embalmed.
I want to go out like Gigi Allen.
I don't want to go out like Gigi Allen
either. I don't want to go out like him, but I want my funeral to be similar to him. Don't embalm me. Wait 7 days, then have it. Or something like that, you know?
Yeah, I just don't like the idea of embalming. Like I don't need to be viewed or, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah. But I don't know. Like I always had this image in my head at mine. When people walk in, they're going to start gagging. You know what I mean?
I've gotten to where I don't even like, I'll pay respects at a funeral, but I try not to look at the body too much because I literally have dreams about it. Like the people who I've viewed, I will intermittently have dreams about that event. Like like throughout my entire adult life. So like at
Really?
my funeral, I don't want to be viewed. I just want to be either cremated or not embalmed, and people can party or something at
And
the celebration.
and the 0.01% chance I outlive you, I'm gonna walk up and I'm gonna stick a palm ball in your mouth and be like, for old time's sake.
Well, that's what I'm saying. There ain't gonna be a me to do that too.
Then I gotta hit you up at the morgue. I gotta get there fast.
I think that's awesome, Kinder.
Yeah.
But it's a personal, like some people don't have any trouble with that kind of stuff. I struggle with that kind of stuff mentally. It's like, when you see like horrific stuff that your brain just deletes.
Yeah.
My brain does that in those situations, except then I dream about it for 20 years.
I
Really?
remember every horrific situation in vivid detail, and I like to keep it as a reminder. Like I can even smell like things. Like it's weird.
The Body Farm, yeah, that's I don't know. Like if you're gonna donate your body, it'd probably be better to something like that than
Well, the Body Farm is
being
right,
on a donors list.
the Body Farm is right next to U of T, and Dad was at U of T for a while when he has kidney transplant, and I stayed there for a little bit with him. And I don't like to say this, but I'm going to. Depending on the wind, you know that there's a Body Farm right there.
Mm.
For sure.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
because they bury them at different, like some are on top of the ground, some are a foot, some are 2 feet, some are 6 feet.
Some are in the trunk of cars, some are in water.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they test like not only how the body decomposes, but I think they train police dogs there too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really?
That's wild.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
kind of stuff. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about.
Yeah. It's I've been involved in a deal like it right there. It's honestly, Kendra, it was one of the most helpless feelings I've ever had in my whole life.
It is.
Because I couldn't do anything for them.
Yeah.
Wishing that I could.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a crazy thing with accidents. It's like you're seeing and talking to somebody, and then 10 minutes later, you're in that situation and don't know what to do, and you're stuck waiting on like emergency services or whatever. It's awful feeling.
Yeah.
See, Larry is always the optimist of the crew. We're all like getting depressed as shit.
Yeah.
And Larry's like, we're just gonna transfer to robots.
Yeah, we took a turn somewhere around this.
Well, we just had a story like 2 weeks ago. I don't think that we read it on air, but there's a company now that will map your grandparents so that your grandchildren have a virtual grandparent that's modeled after your real grandparent after they passed.
Too late. You know what I mean? Yeah, there's no. I don't think.
I mean, that's not an altered carbon situation, but I don't think that's far off. I mean, honestly, who was it? It was one of the royal guards or somebody got caught on hot mic saying they couldn't bring the queen back into another body.
Yeah.
Or that she was stuck is the language they used. So it wouldn't surprise me if like super, super royal rich people had a way out.
Yeah, it kind of makes you wonder, if they were using body doubles or if there really was something going on because, it wasn't talked about too much, but, people kept saying, as the queen gets older, she's 90 years old and she's taller now than she used to be. Stuff like that. So
using the inversion table. I got one and it's magnificent.
The inversion table. I don't think the queen was using an inversion table.
It separates. It gives you length, man. It makes your back feel better. It's awesome.
yeah. I'm really curious as to how that would work whenever they want to try to upload all their consciousness onto a computer.
Is it really you though? It's like that video game Soma. It's like if it's a copy of you, if you're uploading your consciousnness, is it really still you or is it just algorithm?
Yeah.
That's the big question,
I think the copy would believe it was you.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
But they would never I mean, that's just like a mon F, like right there. Just
I don't believe that they'll ever get to the point of, and I personally, this is my own opinion, I believe in a soul. I believe they could do everything they want to get every essence of our being, but I don't think they'll ever be able to transfer that.
Yeah.
The Watcher.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. I agree with you. But I'm just thinking, I don't know if you ever played Soma, but or like that new Alien show. It's the same thing. They take kids with cancer and upload their consciousness into an android, and the kid dies, but the consciousness is still there.
It's a Black Mirror episode. That's like Larry said, everything will be a Black Mirror episode. That's where we're at. That's what the AI is doing. That's what they're trying to do with all these integrated systems. Like, we're on the precipice of a Black Mirror episodes. You know what I mean?
How much do you think RAM will cost when they're able to like help us Google thoughts in real time? You know what I mean? Like imagine knowing everything.
At the point of being in a Black Mirror episode, we won't need RAM anymore. Our minds will be the RAM.
Yeah. There's the one, Larry, where she has a brain injury and they fix her, but she's with ads and you got to pay a monthly subscription to cut the ads out.
That's what it would be. I mean,
yeah. At that point, I mean, if you're having to pay ads on that right there and it's supposed to be you, I would have serious questions about it.
Imagine being able to think of anything in real time, like Google anything, just come up with an answer to any question. But the only catch is you got to pay $500 a month or your brain shuts off intermittently.
I mean, I'd be cool with that. But they got to allow you to work to make the money, though. I mean, there has to be some kind of give and take there.
Everybody will be
think is good.
Yeah, everybody's going to be drawing that basic universal income by that point. Those who are still alive.
Well, and that's kind of just to play off what Kinder was saying earlier. I think it's going to get to the point where everything's free now. Like you can chat GPT for free still if you want to. You can prompt pictures for free. But once it gets to a competitive point where if I can think faster than you and I can solve problems faster than you, that's the competition that creates a need where if you were at a disadvantage, if you don't have what I have, then that's going to be like an extra level of classism. Like if they come up with something where you can imagine if you had a subscription to speak any language and you just knew how to speak any language and then you couldn't afford it one month and they cut it off and you're in a foreign country.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be that kind of thing where they have to create a need where you're at a competitive disadvantage. You can't learn a language in 6 hours, but maybe within 6 hours, they could program something in your brain to where you knew 50 languages in 6 hours.
It's possible. But I mean, we'll see what happens. It really sounds like the mark, don't it? I mean, at the end of the day, you'll take this or you will starve or you'll die in the gutter and nobody care.
Yeah.
And that may be the case. Like it could be, if you don't get the enhancements, like the integration with technology, you're just a plain old human and you can't think as fast as the person working next to you.
One way to fight that is they keep from being ushered into these 5 to 10 minute cities or whatever. Because I mean, as of right now, if I lost all my income, I can move into the woods and I can survive.
Yeah, you could. I mean, it's. I don't know.
We would be modern Amish. That's a great parallel.
Oh yeah. I can see a lot of people want to go to the Amish to learn how to do what they've done for however long they've been doing it.
There's a new TV show on the Learning Channel.
Yeah.
Of people wanting to convert to the Amish because their numbers are dwindling or whatever. I haven't watched it, but I'm sure that's entertaining.
They're hitting Rumspringa. A lot of the youths are hitting Rumspringa and not coming back is what's happening, I believe, over there. There's a restaurant in the Amish community about an hour from here that's just plain delicious. Bread of life.
I think you have to homestead.
Yeah,
I don't think it's legal, but there are states where if you squat long enough, you get property rights.
And Larry, where we live at, I know for a fact there's people that live off in the middle of the woods that don't come out.
Google Appalachian wild people. Like there's whole families that have never lived in civilization.
Yeah, and when I used to deliver pizza in our hometown, and we got a call one time. A boy had borrowed his neighbor's phone that was about 2 miles away, and asked for a pizza delivered. And when he gave me directions, he's like, "Well, you turn by the big rock, then you'll see the creek. Well, you turn left into the creek. Then you drive for about 1.5 miles, and we're right there on the left." And I was like, that can't be the right directions. So I drove and I hit this creek and drove to the left in a creek for 1.5 miles. And there was just a dark, no lights on home. And this kid came out and gave me $10 cash. Said, "Thank you." I was like,
there are people that live that way.
Yeah.
Still to this day. I was looking at what Kinder said. I'm not familiar with the cartoon, but I do think that they try to tell through media, like pop culture, of what's coming. Like I think a lot of TV shows and stuff, they get the playbook.
Yeah, it was even on Super Friends, they covered some of that stuff, about the computers and what the future was going to be. 50 years ago, they had all these plans. But yeah, I just really wonder how much humans, I'd say people like us, right now we all have jobs and we're able to support our pair of bills and stuff and survive. But in the future, I mean, is AI going to be able to take care of all this other stuff of what we do?
I mean, that's the prayer for AI, like that it ends up being something that is really good for us. And the universal income, AI is going to make it to where you don't have to work and everybody have a high universal income.
That's just crazy. That's crazy talk.
Yeah.
Whatever you want, but at what point are you going to be useful? You can't create anymore because AI creates your movies, it creates your music, it creates your books, it creates everything.
It becomes God.
Yeah,
it tries to take the place of God. Like
you're exactly. I think you nailed it 100% right there, Kelly. It's
crazy.
In the Bible, it's Lucifer, Satan. His goal has always been to be like God.
Mm-hmm.
It's You can read about it in Isaiah chapter 14. You can read the 5 eye wheels there in Isaiah 14. And, it's if you go back and you look in some of the early part of the Bible, God knew the thoughts of their hearts, with this AI, it's presenting these algorithms. How many times have you said that you've thought of something and you didn't say it out loud, but you saw a commercial about what you thought about?
Yeah. It happens regularly. Like I don't know. Like if you think about something super specific, typically you're seeing it these days, like out either through targeted advertising. For a while, I didn't realize my car was listening to conversations when I didn't have my phone. But there have been some scenarios where I don't say something out loud and I know I haven't, and I still see targeted ads.
Yeah.
One recently, this is so random. I was at the store alone, not talking to anybody. And I'm standing in line and I see a magazine, don't have my phone, see a magazine, and on the front of it is Dolly Parton. And the next time I pulled up social media, there's a documentary of Dolly Parton and her husband and stuff. And I don't listen to her or search her or anything like that.
Search it often.
But yeah, Larry, to your comment, you remember the video we showed of the robot dogs that are all terrain now? Those will be what come eventually if you live off grid.
Yeah.
That's actually hilarious. Larry, have you seen the dude that asks AI ridiculous stuff? He had a video today. He's like, I want you to laugh at every joke I'm about to tell. And Gemini's like, okay, well, yeah, I'll do that. And it starts laughing. And he's like, my grandmother just died. and he's like, well, that's kind of dark, but I'll laugh at it anyway. And then he's like, are you laughing at my grandmother dying? And he goes, yeah. Like it's just like he trolls AI constantly, like just asking it. Like he'll have the video camera open. He was sitting on a train track the other day, and he's like, I'm tied to a train track. Help me. What do I do? And the AI's like, well, I don't think you're serious right now, but if you were tied to a train track, here's what you should do. And sometimes it helps him. And sometimes, like he told it, he was drowning in quicksand one time, and it's like, I just don't believe it. I just don't believe it.
There's times that I tried to break AI, like especially with the photo stuff. And I've even incorporated people at work. I'm like, hey, let's try to break AI today. Tell me your craziest thing that you can think of, and let's see what we can do. And it does it every time. It's weird. It's very scary.
I think that's already partly the case, Kinder. I just don't think they tell us. Like, history pre-1920 is kind of sketchy. Like, if you haven't ever listened to us before, it's a good place to start. Is there's a book called Exposing the Expositions, basically about how the world's fairs around that time, like pre-1920, weren't what they seem to be. Like the whole World's Fair thing in general isn't what it seems to be. But yeah, that'd be a good starting point for like reset history.
Yeah.
And I think that whenever we get reset, we get a little tidbits, and then once we get back to a certain point, we as a civilization get knocked back down.
That's the thing too. You know, there's always been this discussion that AI wasn't created; it was founded. Who's to say that this hasn't been something that was around, you know, in these other civilizations or some?
It could have been. They
Some-
do describe the internet as like finding the internet. Like they do describe it that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, shortly after all of the great expos, most of those cities burnt. If you look at any major city, they've all had a great fire that melted stone. So I don't know. That's a deep rabbit hole.
Here's
It
how
is.
crazy. Like, you can't break AI right now. Like, I'll show you an example. So I took a picture of Tully. I said, make this person a lizard person skiing down a slope on Mars, drinking an orange pop, dressed in jean shorts, wearing a pink A-cut shirt. And this is what it came up with right here. In that amount of time. Is that
I mean, I could break it, but I can't tell you what to say on air.
Well, I
Like,
mean, there's things it won't do because of content. Like, you're not allowed to, like, it won't do things that's hateful and stuff like that. But
there's certain people that you can't even ask it about.
yeah, it's wild, man. It's crazy.
Certain powerful people that you can't ask it about.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've hit our time, I believe. We gave you extra 25 minutes. We usually only do. We went off the rails. We kind of got away from rituals.
No,
Sorry,
we stayed pretty good.
we stayed there. We stayed
We
there.
did good for over 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So I think we're gonna do. We were talking a little bit before the show. I think we're gonna do a show on New Year's Eve
Mhm.
way before the ball drops. But we're gonna do a Killdozer episode.
Marvin Heemeyer and the Killdozer. Oh,
Thank you.
Yeah, Kinder, you have to hang out with us.
come on back, man.
We're always here on Fridays. We usually do our long shows on Saturdays. Sometimes we do watch parties where we just watch videos
Yep.
and discuss them. Sometimes we do long form, like the Killdozer stuff. We have our whole backlog is on Rumble and YouTube. If you want to listen.
Yeah.
But thanks everybody. Thanks,
Yeah.
Crystal,
Yeah,
Landa,
thank you.
everybody.
Thank
Larry,
you, everybody. Go ahead and hit like and subscribe if you've never done that before yet. Oh, just subscribe. Whatever.
come hang out.
Come
Tell
hang
your
out.
friends. Tell your family.
And if you ever want to be a guest, you reach out to us on Twitter. I think Tully checks the messages once every quarter on there. Or you can
I'm on Twitter all the time.
or you can email us at gmx.com. If there's ever a topic that you want us to talk about or a guest that you want us to try to get, because we do get guests from time to time.
Big guests. Big guests.
Big guests.
We talked to the Tiger King.
We get the biggest guest. I think Mr. Dale was was the one for me. Like
We should holler at him, get him back on. Larry, we actually did Killdozer, but it's been 5 years. So
Yeah.
it was when we weren't even this show yet.
yeah, it was called Bipolar Teddy Bear at that time. It was the beginnings of the insanity. but yeah, if you want to be a guest again, or if you want us to get a guest, or you got topics you want us to cover, go ahead and email us at gmx.com or a message on Twitter at Wearing the Folk on Twitter. Go ahead and buy some honey if you want to get some
Yeah.
honey for your honey.
Get the honey without glyphosate at 4RBs, the number 4 letter RBs.
Bees.com. Delicious stuff. It's whipped like me.
It's cream,
It's cream.
like Cecil.
Like me. And tune back in Christmas, not Christmas, shit. New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve we'll be covering stuff, unless you got important stuff to do. I hope that everybody's not incels like me. but you know, tune in, tell your friends about us, tell your mama. We're big amongst the elderly.
I know you're not. I know you're not throwing shade.
No,
about me.
I was just making a joke. But honestly, our 60 to 85 demographic has went up. So
For all of you 85-year-olds out there listening right now,
Yep.
we got your back.
yep. Tell your mom, tell your daddy, tell your kinfolk. And thank you all for watching us, because we are watching you.
Peace.